self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I did not know that he had hit the record button. Also noticed Calamity Red.
Well, I did.
I wasn't prepared.
Well, you got ready quick.
Here we are.
Yep. So, we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another fantastic, wonderful episode. That's subjective. I'm biased. I'm a part of the situation. So, I like it. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on point.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. I saw we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists, and send it to us that way. So I have a scenario, and let me just read it first.
All right.
Okay. So here's my situation. I love her. I promise I do. But she's testing that love. We've been married for 5 years. When we first got married, she weighed about 135 pounds and was gorgeous. Since we got married, she's taken on this whole extra personality. She gained more than 60 pounds. This extra weight is not attractive to me at all. We are both high school teachers / administrators, so we get home about 5 in the afternoon. I've expressed to her my concerns about the weight gain, suggested medical attention to see if there's a condition or something, purchased the gym membership, started buying the groceries for the house, and even cooking. Nothing has worked. Now she's complaining that I'm withholding sex, but that's not the case. I just don't like what I see, and it does not stimulate me. I can't get aroused by a woman that complains and makes excuses all day. I don't like the sight of those rolls and extra meat. I love my wife, but I'm not in love with what she has become. I don't like what I see. I don't like what she's become, and I don't know what to do. Communication is not working, and I just can't make myself be attracted to something that's not pleasing to me. What do? I want to help her, but I don't know how. First of all, this resounded with me, and let me tell you why. Okay, so y'all don't see me, listeners, but I weighed about 135, 145 pounds for the longest time, and I'm 5'8". And so what that looked like was really, really skinny, to the point where I had like a flat stomach where you could see my abs. I was doing no exercise, okay? This was just how genetics set my shit up, okay? And I had been that small like my whole life. I mean, and I gained about 60 pounds because currently I went from about 135 to like 195 is where I'm at now. But the 60 pounds that I gained, I feel like distributed it pretty nicely. I'm okay with it. I went up like 2 pant sizes because most of it went to my ass and hips. I do have some extra weight. Like I don't have, like I'm sitting up now, I don't have rolls, but if I'm like standing and I wear something really tight, I have like little baby rolls in my back. But I'm cool with that shit. I'm fine with that shit. So I can't imagine if I had been married at 135 at the weight that I was at and was the weight I am today and had my husband saying a bunch of bullshit. Now he doesn't say how old they are. He doesn't say how tall she is, because 135 gonna look different, or plus 60 would be like 190. 195 gonna look different on different heights. Okay, like I said, I'm 5'8". So for me, 195 pounds, I just look, thick, slim, thick. I don't know what you would, I don't know, but it's not like obese. Even though I gained 60 pounds, I had a lot of room for the 60 pounds to like put itself on because I was so thin before. So I can't imagine being married and then gaining the weight and then having somebody constantly telling you, because he didn't say that she was bothered by it. He said he's bothered by it.
What would you do if you married a man and he was relatively fit, maybe not all the way, but you accepted that, and he just like blew up.
I mean, at the point that I've married you, I feel like I'm already accepting that you ain't gonna look like you did the day we made. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the longer you stay, and I had this conversation with some of my clients this week, actually. Marrying people for how they look is stupid because they not gonna always look like that. Even if they stay in the gym and eat right and all of that shit, they gonna get wrinkled. Like, you gonna check, your hair gonna start turning. They're not gonna look like they did the day you met them, period. So
They might look better in some instances.
They could. I mean,
so what if you marry a man and he go from regular attractive to like super stud?
Long as he not here fucking around, I'm be happy.
How would you feel if like women start swooning over him in Walmart and like trying to touch his muscles and stuff? Like,
what is he doing? Like, I'm gonna be more concerned with his response to that than I am.
What should his
bitches.
response be?
His response need to be politely getting them bitches away from him before I come over and impolitely get them away.
So what if it ain't like they just on him? It's like really him existing. They just like looking at him and just
I mean,
like, would you have a problem with? But would you have a problem with that?
No, he can't do nothing about that shit. Long as you don't come over here and touch what's mine, I don't give a fuck about you looking. Look, please. He fine, ain't he?
You think you gonna try to monitor what he wearing? Listen, them sleeves is too short. I don't need your muscle showing because these bitches out here, this is what you would say, be looking at you, and I don't like it.
That is what I would say. Oh, no. Look, so this is so funny. So the only thing that I feel like women have an issue with men wearing are gray sweatpants. And I don't know if men know this. I don't know
Absolutely,
if this is like,
men do know it.
Y'all know. Okay. So only thing that I would be like is, where you going with them sweatpants on? Nope. I'll put some jeans on, my nigga.
How does that not apply to everything else?
What do you mean? The sweatpants, I don't know what it is. And I'm a woman, and I still can't tell you why it's so attractive to see a man in gray sweatpants. I don't know what it is. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. There's no logical sense to it. There's something about gray sweatpants, and there's something about a well-fitted suit. I love to see a black man in a tailored suit that fits him, that was tailored to fit him. Looks fucking amazing. And I don't even care what size you are. Any man who can get a suit that is tailored to his body type looks phenomenal. They just do. I just love a well-dressed man. Or a man in sweatpants, whichever. Either or. But I don't know what it is about sweatpants. I wish I could explain it to you, but I can't. I don't know. It didn't make sense, but it is what it is. So the sweatpants would be the only thing that I'd be like, fuck, no. Go put some jeans on, man. Some nice khakis, but the sweatpants are a no.
Listen,
but again, if I married somebody and he with this example gained weight, if he okay with the weight and his health isn't being impacted by it, because I'm gonna change. Look, again, I was not expecting to gain 60 pounds. I don't even know what the fuck happened because I gained the 60 pounds and now I'm stagnant again. I haven't gained any. I'm still eating the same way. I was exercising. I stopped. This is very good. So eyebrows or gray sweatshirt, whatever. I mean sweatshirt, gray shirt. The guy that I've talked about on here before that I dated, he was a super huge workout person. Like, this nigga would call me while he was in the gym working out, huffing and puffing on the fucking phone like I want to hit it. But so he slowly started talking about things that I could do to tone up. And, I was like, well, if he is, because he goes to the gym all the goddamn time. I was like, well, I obviously ain't finna do what he doing and do all of this. But one, I would like to tone up because, again, the only issue I had with the weight I gained was these little baby rolls because they're just annoying when I wear something fitted. I just don't like how it looks. So I was like, okay, I'll do a little something. I ain't gonna do what the fuck he do, but but even the little something, because it didn't come from me, because it wasn't something that I truly wanted to do, I ain't been to the gym and I don't even know how the fuck long because it wasn't tied to something that I wanted to do, So I just, I can't imagine after I gained that weight being with somebody that would have made me feel bad about it. When I was happy as hell about that weight, the 60 pounds that I gained. I was like, I got an ass now. I got a semi-hourglass figure now and shit. I'm good to go. I was happy because that's what I always wanted. I could not gain weight. Like I was trying to gain weight for years and couldn't. Just my metabolism was on crack and it wouldn't allow me to put any pounds on. I could eat whatever. I was eating like meals before going to bed, laying down on that shit and still couldn't gain no weight. And then one day, I don't know what the fuck happened, but my metabolism was like, peace out, or not peace out, because obviously I stopped gaining weight, but it was like, bitch, I'm on vacation. it took some time off. And I was able to gain the weight, but I can't imagine somebody like pressing me about it to the point where you're buying groceries in the house and you doing the cooking in the house and like, because in nowhere in there did he say she had a problem with her weight gain. It was all about how he don't find her attractive no more because she gained the weight. And like I said, depending on her height, 60 pounds sound like a lot, but anybody who saw me before and sees me now, it's not a huge difference. Like, especially if you see me on a regular basis. Like people who, you know, see me regularly.
Until grandma see you.
Oh yeah,
grandma or auntie see you. Shit's different.
Listen, my grandmother's sister, which is my great aunt, every time I see her, she tells me about how big my ass has gotten, and not in a flatter like, "Girl, you got curves." No, like your ass, you then got so big. Like, ain't Ruth really? Every time you see me, like we had this conversation every time I see you. Do we have to do this every time? I haven't gained weight. I'm the same size I was. You don't have to comment on it every time. Old people don't give a fuck. They get a pass though. That's just old people. But the nigga I'm with,
no pass.
No pass. So how do you feel? Would you, if you was with somebody that went from 135 to 195, would you be all like, you need to get in the gym and
nah, eat better? I'm more like you. I try to figure out what they okay with. And it's not many women. I mean, just because of how our society is made up anyway, where the expectation for women to focus on their appearance is so apparent. Like, I'm not gonna meet that many women who would be happy with gaining that much weight, and she might not be happy with gaining that much weight. But at the end of the day, if it's I would just see what she want to do. You know, I would see what health implications it have. I would see what physical differences made for her. I would see what is the reason that she gained that much weight. I mean, like I said, if she gained that much weight in a short period of time, there may be some health issues going on.
But he said he don't say how long, but he said when they got married 5 years ago. Yeah. 5 years ago.
Well, you know, see, this is my, and not only that, but a bulk of what I would be marrying a woman for would be for the internal qualities that she possesses and how she complements my life. I would not marry somebody unless I have that bit filled for myself. So at the point that aesthetically things start changing and shifting up, then, you know, it don't make that big of a difference, because what if she's in a fire, you know?
Yeah.
What if it's a grease fire or something in the kitchen and it burn her face? You know, what if some scarring, like, it's so many things in life that can happen that changes the aesthetic nature of a person's existence, that if you're that superficial, then you don't even deserve that person to me. I don't think, like, for me, if you're sitting here weighing out your wife's weight versus everything else that she's offered you that benefits you, then you're too superficial to have that woman, and you don't deserve an opportunity for her to become better for you, because if her staying that way is contingent on you feeling positive about her, then that's a problem. If you withholding sex, you know, like that's a problem to me. You know, I'm not saying don't be, so at the end of the day, sir, if her weight don't change for the next 5 or 10 years, what are you going to do? Are you going to be...
It seems like he about to leave her ass.
Are you going to be unhappy in your marriage to be with her, or you going to leave her? if you would leave her, to me, you ain't deserve her to begin with. I don't even know what else she offer. But to me, just the fact that
that's his only complaint. His only complaint in that whole thing was just that she didn't gain his weight. He don't find it attractive. And I guess I'm so annoyed because, like I said, 60 pounds when you say it sounds like a lot. But again, I literally gained right around 60 pounds.
Well, like I said, men just have a strong history with dictating how women exist. And because men in relationships choose women for the sake of the aesthetic value, and women choose men for the sake of security, I just really don't expect that much out of men. But men got to realize that women are independent enough not to need your ass. She's an administrator too.
Yep.
She don't need you. And she'll find somebody who like the thick girls. You know? And you gonna be sitting over there on the sideline while she done Jill Scotted your ass.
Out here looking for somebody else that's 135 pounds.
Why Did I Get Married?
Oh, yeah.
Done went and found her a super boo after she busted you in the head with a bottle last holiday. And that's how you gonna be looking. Look, listen, people, y'all need to find as many of the internal qualities that you can find in a person that you value, that complements your existence, your life, your mind, what you want.
That outside shit gonna go away. Again, you can, and I've seen some older people that look really good for their age, but you gonna get wrinkles. You see. Like the old neck, like they take care of everything, but it's like your neck you can't really control.
Wear a turtleneck.
Like your body's gonna go through changes, and so putting how much you love somebody based on what they look like is fucked up, because that shit gonna change, and I shouldn't have to be keeping up. Now again, if this was a health concern, if she was her blood pressure was high, cholesterol was high because of this weight, okay. But from what he said, all I heard was she didn't got fat and I don't like it. Like that's really what it seems like. She just gained weight and he ain't with it.
I really feel like the dude that's making these complaints is out here shaped like Grimace. I really do. I feel like
shaped like Grimace.
I feel like he got little bitty legs, a big ass stomach, and a head with no neck. And he out here got the audacity to talk about his woman gaining weight. I believe I just really feel like that's the case. This ain't no Idris Elba.
Probably not, because like he said he started buying groceries. So both of them weren't eating good or eating healthy. Not good. They were eating good, but not healthy, because he started making changes in the food, which means that he wasn't already on this lifestyle path. He changed it when she gained weight. So yeah, he probably ain't got no chisel body himself.
She don't have that natural disposition to work out and stuff. And
you have to have that. Like I just didn't decide. I'm not that person.
And I also bet that he is not willing to do the work with her. I bet he's trying to get her in the gym, and he's not willing to do anything for himself. Like,
let me tell you what I ain't finna put up with, or what I don't expect to put up with in a marriage. You supposed to be the person who champions for me, who lifts me up. I don't want to hear you telling me how I'm fat all the goddamn time. How do you think that makes me feel, and the impact that's gonna have on our relationship when all of our conversations is about how much I fucking weigh?
But that's the problem. He used to be able to lift you up. And now he can't. Those days are going away.
Well, he needs to get in the gym and then bench some more motherfucker so you can lift me up again. The fuck? That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I can't be with nobody that's gonna be criticizing my shit all the time, especially when I'm okay with it. Like I said, this weight that I gained, I'm fine with it. I am completely happy. I have hips, never had hips before. I have an ass that I didn't have before. I can wear form-fitting stuff and actually have a nice silhouette now. I'm cool with it. And it only took me 33 years to get here.
This is the advice I'm gonna give this gentleman.
Kick
First
rocks.
off, you shaped like Grimace. Okay, you need to work on yourself, and maybe you not shaped like Grimace, but evidence shows that you ain't where you should be. So get your ass in the gym, okay? Get you a regimen. Work yourself out, okay? Because worst case scenario, if you are shallow enough to leave her, then you ain't gonna get no women shaped like no damn Grimace. So start getting your shit together. But the reality is, if you start getting your shit together and encourage her to come with you, because what I believe is that you probably trying to press her to do the shit you think she need to do without feeling like you need to do no work. And the reality is you may not need to do no work, or she may accept you for who you are. But if you want her to have the motivation to get in there, it's best if you do it with her. Okay? And that's your best bet. If that don't work, then maybe you should leave.
Yep.
Because you ain't gonna be doing nothing but creating misery for her through your own bullshit as perceived misery because of something that you want. That is really just an indicator that you shallow as fuck.
As fuck.
So if you can't get in the gym, then leave. Appropriately. Like don't be like, okay, this relationship dead. Go try to find you a relationship while you in a relationship. Like, leave her the fuck alone.
That's how niggas get cut. Don't do that.
I be like, look, just be honest. Just tell her, listen, your weight is a problem, and I can't continue with that. I'm sorry. Show the asshole that you are. Don't try to cover that shit up. You know, if you gonna feel like that towards the woman that you say you love, then love is far too conditional.
Your love is anyway.
Yeah, your love is far too conditional for me to give a fuck about your success.
I have another question that's separate. It's stemmed from a conversation that I had with Cole Jackson from Government Name Podcast.
Government Name Podcast. Cole Jackson and Shogun.
They are so interested in doing this chicken tasting thing. Like, we're gonna have to make that happen because, like, they're with it. More with it than I thought they would be. So, like,
why would you think that any black people that could participate in something where you eat chicken, what fuck would make you think they wouldn't be interested?
Because you eating chicken on camera. Like, because we're going to record this and put it on, like, YouTube. I didn't know if they wanted to be, like, smacking.
I'd rather it be a chicken review.
What do you mean a chicken review?
Like, instead of blindfold chicken taste test? Because if it's a competition, I'll fucking win.
How you gonna win?
Because I'm a fucking surgeon with different types of deliciousness. And if you think you're gonna bring some goddamn fried chicken in here and I don't know where it's from, I know the difference in the crunch between Church's chicken, Bojangles chicken, KFC, crispy and original recipe chicken. I know all the shit.
Okay, well, we gonna see. That makes me want to do it even more now.
Maybe I just have to be the moderator.
Because Cole gonna have to be the moderator because the nigga don't eat meat.
Oh, he sure don't.
He gotta be the moderator. He got no options. He don't eat meat now.
If it's a competition, we gotta win something.
All right, we can do that. I was thinking, so nuggets from different places have different shapes. I think we just need to get like a 3-piece chicken tender strip and cut it up. And do that. Everybody get a piece of the. Because if you do nuggets, you could tell a lot by the shape of a nugget.
Everywhere don't have nuggets though. Everywhere have chicken tenders.
So chicken tender, like, but we don't need. Again, like a 3-piece and cut it up for everybody to have enough to taste and tell what it is. That's what I was thinking we could do. Okay. But they with it, so that's gonna happen because they were in the group chat talking about this shit this week. So we're gonna have to get together and do that. But so. Cole was talking about a coworker he has who is gay and was talking about how he has straight friends who get mad at him because when they talk about having sex with men and he say that's you're at the very least bisexual, they tell him, no, I'm not, that's you just judging me. I'm straight just because I like to have sex with men. And this is what a lot of down low men say to themselves to make themselves feel better about the shit. But here's the thing. Being sexually attracted to and engaging in sexual acts with somebody of the same sex is the definition of homosexual. Like, at the very least, you bisexual. You could like men and women, but to just be like, I'm straight, I just like to have sex with men, makes no sense at all to me.
I don't know. I think I don't know how I feel about that. I think people define their own sexuality, right? Well, no. I think people define their own sexuality.
Okay.
And I think the definition of a man who defines himself as not attracted to men but having sex with them as down low. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think that's bisexual. I think that's a down low dude. Like, I think your sexual identity is what you identify as. Because being down low is different than being bisexual.
Only in that you're not. That's like saying being in the closet gay and outwardly gay is different. It's not. It's just you're not prepared to accept who you are. The shit gonna be exactly the same once you get comfortable and come out. There's no difference. There's no difference between a down low man and a bisexual man. They do the same shit. The down low man just isn't in a place where he's ready to accept the things he does with a man as something that pertains to what he likes.
What would you call a man that don't interact with men but like getting pegged?
A nigga that need to stay away from me.
But that's not bisexual.
I guess. Okay.
I mean, I think it's possible to fetishize the phallic shape, whether it comes from a toy or a man, and not attach that to an attraction to the person you get it from.
I guess this is very hard for me as a woman having this conversation, because ain't gonna be no defining your own sexual identity if I find out my husband out here fucking men. Like, it ain't gonna be it's on a spectrum. Like, I'm gonna just be ready to whoop his ass. I'm just gonna be upset. Clearly. Like, that's not what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing that you should accept it. What I'm arguing is how much of what we know about people do we get to define things that exist on a scale? And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I feel like pegging is different, I guess. Pegging, I'm trying to take myself
If you don't know what pegging is a man that likes to be penetrated by a woman with a strap on.
And the only reason I found out what this is because on one of these whack ass dating sites, I had somebody approach me about doing it. I didn't even know what it was. I had to Google it. I was horrified. I'm trying to remove myself out of this and just think of it objectively. So, pegging, I feel like, is more about the act, because the men who have sex with men who don't feel like they're gay or whatever, they could do pegging. It would be the same thing. I feel like the guy has something to do with it, like the reason why they're having sex with a man and not being pegged. Jesus. It's because the other guy attached to it, because they could just do pegging. I mean, well, if they a top, I guess you can.
But let me clarify my position as well. It sounds like the dudes that he is talking about are just in denial about whatever their sexual preference is.
Well, yeah, and they're talking about he's standing in judgment of them. And it's like, it's not judgment, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah, they clearly in some kind of denial, or they feel like they got to rebut, But I'm talking about, I guess my point is how quickly we are to label somebody something that is clear. It's a group for that. It's a group of people that are bisexual, that define themselves as bisexual, that protect bisexual rights. I just don't think it's up to us to throw other people in that group. Because, I don't know. I feel like it should be a difference between the identity and the act. Because people identify as these different groups.
Like I said, I feel like it's no different than a person in a closet who's completely gay, who knows that they are, but is not ready to face it. They don't get a different name just because they're in the closet. They're still gay. So I don't understand why a man who is bisexual or seems to be bisexual and just isn't prepared to deal with that would get a whole nother category as opposed to just being in the closet. He just ain't ready, because there is a group that stands up for bisexual rights, but you also, the reason why they have to stand up for those rights is because you get alienated, you get judged, you get a whole lot of shit with admitting that you bisexual and you like fucking men.
But I think that's the reason. I think that's the reason that when you date a new dude, it's two questions you gotta ask. Are you straight? Yes. Have you ever had sex with men? Why would you ask me something like that?
Because clearly, niggas feel like.
But what I'm saying is, those are two separate questions for a reason.
Because because again, I feel like it's the same way when somebody is in the closet, the things that they'll make okay so that they don't have to deal with it is the same thing down low men do. Like, I just don't believe that somewhere in there they don't know that they just like fucking with men. I don't believe any of them really believe, like, I just occasionally like to have sex with men. I think that that's a denial because they don't want to accept that part of themselves. So the reason you have to ask those questions separately isn't because this man isn't bisexual. It's because his perception is that as long as he don't identify as bisexual, then anything he does is just him being straight and occasionally liking to do this other thing.
Well, you know, this dialogue is just something that I don't know. I got to figure it out. I don't have a set system of what I believe on that, but I do know
as a woman.
I do. Look, I mean, like I said, I'm not
saying that. You would never have to deal with this, really, I guess. Like, because is there such thing as down low? Women don't do this shit. One, because women being bisexual is a lot more acceptable than men being bisexual, for one. But, like, I don't know that there's, like, a category of down low bisexual women. I don't know that exists. I don't know that you would ever have to deal with this. I think that women would probably just be like, hey, I like bitches too. Like, I don't think that they would keep it from you. Because it's usually more well accepted.
I'm sure there's a relationship that exists where if a woman was in a relationship with a man and was having like side relationships with women and sexual encounters with women, then the man would not like it, you know, because at the end of the day, if commitment is what's important in a relationship to somebody,
but not
then
liking
you're not having that.
Not liking it and feeling like, oh, he just cheated. Because I feel like with women, it ain't even just a matter of not like that's disrespectful as fuck. What you not gonna do? Like, it's a whole nother level of like.
What, when men do it?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, and women's reaction to it. Like, a woman who finds out a woman who suspects that her significant other is cheating on her expects it to be a woman. A woman that finds out that he cheating on her with a dude, the level of upset is way higher when you find out that it's a dude than the woman you was expecting it to be. Like, I just think that with women, the response is so much more stronger when you find out that the nigga you been with is down low and been out here doing shit with men. I feel like a man would get upset if he found out his girl was like out here with other girls, but it wouldn't be to the extent of how women respond.
It depends on the person.
But
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's just a different dynamic when it comes to women.
Because it ain't a lot of
relationships
things
versus man on man relationships.
It ain't a lot of things I go to jail for, but like me finding out my husband been fucking men while we been like in that moment.
What's the statute of limitation on the last interaction that a man had with a man that will make him not bisexual? Like if you messed around, if you Frank Ocean and you messed around with a dude at 19 and you 35 and been dating women ever since, are you bisexual? Is there a statute of limitation on it? Like, is it something that you got to do?
Are you suppressing the desire to have sex with men? Because that happens. So, like, are you not having sex with men because you're no longer attracted to them and don't want to?
What if that was the moment that they realized that they definitely wasn't attracted to men and that they are with women because they want to be with women? Like, is it an assumption that they must be suppressing it? And I think that comes along. Well, I think that comes with how our society sees homosexual relationships, sees man on man interaction.
This particular example is men who are currently having sex with men that feel like it ain't a big deal because they just do it sometimes. This isn't like they used to have sex with men and they no longer have sex with men. They're currently doing this.
Well, you know that. The point I brought up still just plays to the idea of whether is that something that we can put on them generally just because they had that interaction before and now you always bisexual if you've ever had that with a man?
I
or how much of that is that's what I identify with?
It's going to depend on who looking at it, because I don't know that I would want to date a man that had any kind of a relationship with a man before me. Personally, that's just my personal. I just wouldn't want to. So I guess it depends on who looking at the situation. For me, I don't give a shit how long ago it was. Like I can't do it. Like I have no desire to do it. So I guess it depends on who you asking the question to. Because I mean, I don't know. And again, I feel like...
So you're not fond of... You wouldn't want to date any man that's ever been penetrated by anything?
No.
Even a toy?
No. And I ain't penetrating you with no toy. Like, so if I was with somebody who was just really into pegging and that's still too weird for me. In my taste, I can't do it. It's weird. I don't want to be thrusting into something. That's fucking weird. That ain't nothing I know anything about. Ain't nothing I want to be a part of. Ew. I can't. It's not for me. It's not for me.
What if he like Thanos? I don't know if you remember at the end of one of the Guardians of the Galaxies or one of them movies, Thanos, after whoever he sent to do it, they did fail. The after scene credit was Thanos putting on the glove saying, I guess I'll do it myself. Like, what if he was like that? What if he like took his suction cup dildo into the bathroom when he got ready to take a shower?
No, I can't. It's weird. It's weird for me. And
what if you never even saw it? You just knew it was going on.
No, I can't know about it. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to be with you. What if it was suppressed and you found out like 10 years into y'all relationship or marriage?
Clearly, you ain't gotta answer that. Clearly, it's just gonna be a lot of variables in this situation. But what
kids? Would it be easy for me?
What I want to make sure I highlight is that, you know, for some of y'all small and limited minded people that might be listening, y'all might think I'm out here Brokeback Mountain it just because of my stance and how I'm defending the right for a man that's down low to possibly not have these identities thrust on him. I don't know. I don't know if he should or should not. I don't know if bisexuality and homosexuality are exclusively things that you have to personally identify with to be involved in that group, or if just based on the sexual acts you get tossed in there. I don't know. That's something I'm working out with this dialogue. But I can assure you, I am not fond of anything butt related going up into there. So I guess that's the most docile way I can communicate that. I'm trying to be really I'm trying to be very...
I appreciate it.
I'm not trying to be out there.
Yes.
I'm trying to be as...
And I know that this, when I was talking to Cole about this, I was like, we need to talk about this on the show, simply because this is something that happens a lot. That is the idea of a lot of down low men, is that they're not gay. They just like to have sex with men sometimes. And so because of that, they don't feel like they have to disclose that to the women that they're with, which is fucked up, because you don't get to decide for me if I'm okay with that. Like, you're down low because you know it ain't acceptable. Like, that's what I feel like it is. Because if you really truly felt like I ain't gay, I just like to have sex with men sometimes, this would not be this closely guarded secret like it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that people are going to probably have a negative response to it. And so instead of accepting that, like most other people who have a lifestyle that people don't agree with, you just gonna hide behind some, I'm not in that group type shit. And I'm out here with a nigga that's getting, no. Just no. No. But that's how a lot of down low men feel, that they're not gay or bisexual. They just like having sex with men. Is it not bestiality if you just do it sometimes? Like, is there any other thing where
How you bring bestiality into this?
I mean, I'm just.
We ain't talked a bit about sex with animals.
I know, but I'm trying to think of something else, some extreme.
You did this last time.
I know.
You brought bestiality up for no reason.
But I'm trying to.
It's you channeling them flicks that you found in your mama's movie stash.
I'm not. I'm trying to think of something extreme that is like, if somebody does it even once, that's who they are. Like bestiality, you're not gonna be like, are you an animal banger for the rest of your life because you did it once? The fuck yes. If you was out here, yes, you are. If I find out that when you were 21,
what is the plural of? Are you a bestialatoire? If you've had sex with animals more, longer at one point, if you did it, or you just that forever? Like if a Frank Ocean, like I said, Frank Ocean had sex with a man at 19 and hadn't done it since, is he gay or is he bisexual?
It depends.
Or was that a moment where he might have realized that he wasn't either one of them?
If he still desires it, but like Donnie McClurkin. Donnie McClurkin is a very good example of this. Donnie McClurkin says... McClurkin? Is that it? McClurkin. Donnie.
Donnie Mac.
Donnie.
That's his gigolo name. I said jigaboo. Jigaboo and gigolo. He the jigaboo. He old enough for that.
Donnie no longer has sex with men because of his religion. It's not because he doesn't find them attractive anymore, because he feel like it's wrong.
He's been saved, healed.
Okay.
I guess healed ain't the right word for.
Because it wasn't an ailment. It wasn't a cut. But
it's just desire, I guess.
But if you still have those desires and you're just not acting on it, that doesn't mean that you're not that thing anymore. It means that you're just not acting on it, to me. So Donnie is going to forever be like, him suppressing his desires does not mean that the desires don't exist simply because you're not engaging in it.
It gets a little bit more complicated for me because you and I both work with children of sexual abuse. And I think it's very possible to have a predisposition to be exclusively attracted to women, but because of sexual abuse, have an affinity for, the interaction with a man. And maybe not even the interaction, but the feeling that you get from that, but
you can take care of with pegging.
But it's that's the difference between... sometimes women could use a toy but would rather have a man. I think for a lot of women, I think there's value to like physical sex, the physical action. There's a lot more that come along. Like when
you're attracted to the man, they're like, it ain't because it's because you're attracted to the man. Like, so if sometimes you want the connection that you get, because I wouldn't go try to find out with a woman with a strap on. I'm not gonna do that. Like, even though I'm not. So it still has something to do with what it is that you desire. Saying that you don't want the toy, you want an actual man, is for the intimacy that provides with the person that you are attracted to and like. Like, I wouldn't go try to get that same intimacy with a woman because I'm not attracted to women, and so it wouldn't be the same. It would just be weird. So I feel like to seek out a man specifically, there is some level of attraction there for you to do that, because it's too many other alternatives.
I want to, instead of saying attraction, I want to say criteria.
The hell is why criteria?
Because a measure of what they look for in that interaction. It might not be exclusively attraction.
But you're not going to... Do people have sex with folks they're not attracted to?
It's a given. You ain't going to go have sex with no damn grimace. I think that's natural in any interaction. Even if there could be even if a woman didn't give a damn about the man or the man and just wanted to have sex with him, she wouldn't go find the 400-pound dude. Like, she, by default.
But she also ain't gonna go find a nice built woman either, because the woman, even with her having the physical characteristics, she's a woman. And so you're not gonna go seek out a buff woman if you're looking for a buff man.
But you don't... I'm sure young MA don't wear her strap on out everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that a man will have the tool that you're looking for. You don't know if a woman of an equivalent build to a man would have the tool that you're looking for, because
you can go buy one. You can always go buy one.
But that ain't. I mean, if you going out for a night of pleasure, that's not what you're gonna be looking for in that moment. You're gonna be looking for where you can get that from.
But it's gonna be from what you want. Is what, like, again, what you're saying is like, if somebody got horny enough and they found a woman and they weren't gay, but it's just like, well, she'll do. Like, does that happen? Like, where you just, whoever you come across that fit a criteria?
What I'm trying to say is that I think it's possible to want something from a person and not be exclusively attracted to that person that puts you in a particular sexual related group. I don't know. I'm working it out.
I have at no point ever any kind of anything that I needed as it pertains to intimacy, whether it's physical intimacy, emotional, it's men. Like, women don't even come into consideration. You know, like, it never, I'm not even gonna seek that out from a woman ever.
But I'm really just speaking, I'm really just arguing semantics. These are things that can never be found out. You know, if somebody don't want to identify with something and want it to be something else, or if they having a struggle doing that, that's a problem regardless. Because what the reality is, you know, you need to know if you need to know if he has sexual interaction with men or not.
Because I'm not with it.
So at the end of the day, what I'm arguing, I really don't think matters, because I think we need to know what really people really consist of. Mm-hmm. You know,
and then you can make a decision. And again, there are women who don't mind dating bisexual men. I'm not one of them, but there are women who don't care if you've been with men before or that you have an attraction to men and women. I'm not one of those people, though. Personally, I have no desire to date a man that likes men, even if he would also be attracted to me as well. I just, it's too much.
It's only a matter of time before a website like Ashley Madison come out that has straight men that done had interactions with gay men out here.
Oh my God.
So you need to either start living in your truth or stop living in this falsehood. One or the other, because your time of reckoning is coming. Your
time is coming. But it also was just funny to me in this particular situation that this was a conversation being had with a man who was gay. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not like these guys who were like, you're judging us, we're not gay. We're gonna get that level of judgment from he gay. So, like, if they be like, you know, I just ain't ready to say no shit about it, but I love fucking men, he wasn't gonna be like, you nasty nigga.
Was this a conversation with that was had with Cole Jackson?
The coworker had it with Cole about an interaction he had with some of his friends.
Be careful, Cole Jackson.
Don't do that.
This is how they do. First off, they see if you comfortable with having the conversation, because most dudes be like, I don't want to hear about none of that gay shit. Listen, get that shit out my face.
Look, don't do that, because Cole has come so far from hanging out with us with his view of homosexuality. Don't make him backtrack thinking that this nigga trying to get in his pants just because he talking to him.
I don't know
the
dude.
Don't do that.
I don't know the dude. I'm just creating a parallel universe
in which
that is what's happening, and just, you know, don't not have these conversations, because I like having these conversations.
So let him have it.
Well,
he's doing so well. He's open minded enough that he wasn't even like, nigga, because he would have been. There was a point in time where Cole would have been like, nigga, I don't hear that gay shit. So don't make him backtrack by doing that.
I don't think he gonna backtrack because of what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the next time y'all had this conversation, if he sit a little bit closer to you, you know, I don't know what that means.
I hate you.
If he be like, have you ever had any meat before? Then, you know, I'm just saying.
That's terrible.
Why is it terrible?
Let that man live. He's doing really well. He's being open-minded and accepting, and I'm so proud of him for that. But, and I told him this.
I'm proud of you, Cole Jackson. But you know why? You know why this is my dialogue? Because this was me. Okay? This was me being young and not really even recognizing what gay? Because most gay dudes they stay in their lane as it pertains to, I like what I like, and what I like is what likes me.
Yes.
I'm not trying to go out and and look for straight dudes to convert, but I was working at McDonald's in Auburn. I don't even remember the dude's name. It began with a D, and it sounded like a gay name. So I don't... it might have been like DeMario or DeMarcus or something like that.
I'm sorry for all the straight DeMarios and DeMarcuses.
And like, it just got uncomfortable because I've always been comfortable with listening to people. Yeah. That's why I'm a therapist. I don't know who come to my office. You know, so I've been comfortable listening to people, and that's been something that I'm a therapist because of those things. Yeah. I'm not that because I'm a therapist. Like I listen. Yeah. And you know, so he be talking about some dudes in the break room, and I'll follow up with a question. And you know, I guess to him that's like invitation.
He's interested.
You know, so like the way that he started looking at me was weird. The way that he started requesting stuff was weird. Eddie, I need a double quarter pounder with cheese. Like, you don't say that like that to the goons that work in here. Why are you talking to me like that? You know, I'm just listening. Maybe my comments were triggering my own experiences, but I'm just saying, I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. That realization should not make you any more uncomfortable with having the conversations. It should just make you more vigilant.
Oh, Jesus.
And seeing what it's like. But like, you got to be a certain type of gay dude to be comfortable talking to straight dudes about this stuff. Well, or you have to have a certain type of relationship with the person, and I don't really know the interaction between him and Cole and how comfortable they are talking to each other.
Nobody knows he's gay at work. And I think what happened is he was going through, you know, sometimes a situation will just make you start talking. And he was going through something with some guy he had been seeing and was like super down. And I guess Cole got a face that looked like he would be listening, you know, a listening ear or some shit. I don't know. But like, it was like some situation that kind of pushed him to do it because he's not outwardly gay at work. So nobody knows. So that's kind of what I think happened.
Cole Jackson is he got a listening face, but he got a listening disposition. No, I mean, he's an interviewer. He do this shit.
He does interviews, yeah.
He got that disposition already. I don't know if he's had that all his life and it is like that, or if he like learned that. I mean, you can answer that if you want, or if he learned that through the interviews and what it looked like people respond to best. But like when Cole Jack, I mean, clearly I think he got a mode where don't fuck with me.
Yeah, he uses that with me a lot.
Yeah, but he also got a mode where when you do talk to him, like it's engaging. Yeah, he keeps the conversation thriving. Yeah, and I guess if he's not comfortable, you'll be comfortable with having that conversation with him.
And he is trustworthy, and so he felt like, obviously this guy felt like he was somebody he could tell that he wouldn't go tell everybody else at the place they work at that, oh yeah, he is gay. He came and told me all of this stuff. So. I think that's what I think, you know how you go through something and it's so bad that you just really need to talk to somebody about it. And I think that in that moment on that day, Cole was just that guy. And so because he was receptive that day, now it's like I can talk to him about this shit and nobody else is going to know about it. And he can give me a different perspective because he ain't gay. And I think they just, you know, now he part of conversations he may or may not want to be a part of. Because he got to listen in this position.
I think you'll be all right as long as he don't try to like bump up against you by accident and be like, Cole.
Well, like I said, I think because he's not outwardly gay at work, he ain't finna do this shit anyway. Just because he don't want nobody to know.
Customer for you. But yeah, I'm just, you know. It's my experience, man. It was weird.
I knew that the down low men do that, but it was just interesting to hear that they'll say that even to somebody who definitely ain't finna judge them for fucking men because he fuck men. So it's like you still, even in a place where you could be honest, you still ain't gonna do it, even with somebody that wouldn't give a fuck. It's not like he was gonna be like, ooh, nigga, y'all nasty, because he do the same thing. So I just thought that part of it was interesting.
I used to work at a Red Lobster in Charlotte, North Carolina, Pineville store, and it was a dude that worked there named Darren. Darren was a cross-dresser.
Cousin named Darren, but he's not a cross-dresser.
And anytime, you know, at Red Lobster, they used to make us sing for people's birthdays.
Oh, God.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
But if Darren was there, we can get Darren to sing Diana Ross or Diane Warwick or anybody.
Oh,
yeah,
was
he was a performer. Yeah, he would perform.
Did he do drag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did drag. So he would perform. But he was so flamboyant.
Most drag queens are.
And open about complimenting other men that it was just really uncomfortable. And it was this dude when we got there that he used to just be like, watch this, Eddie. I'm Eddie, by the way. Watch this, Eddie. And he would say, hey, Darren, Eddie said you look pretty nice today. And he was like, Eddie, you fine tall glass of wine, I'll sop you up like one of these biscuits. Like, he'll say some off the wall stuff, and I'm like, and there's people around just be laughing, and I'm like, but like, it's been a bunch of them moments where it's like, it don't really bother me internally, like it don't make me feel any type of way against his sexuality, you know, or his flamboyancy, but it just, you know, it's uncomfortable still. I mean, we're still in a society where the conditioning of and how we supposed to feel about men having relationships with men is still ever so present. Yeah. And if you've managed to get over it, if you've managed to advance to a place where you can have a conversation with a person without feeling a certain type of way, then you're the minority. And it's crazy because this just happened yesterday. I still have felt like a certain type of way if I'm watching dudes kiss or something like that. But like yesterday, I saw it and it was gone. Like I didn't feel any kind of stigma. Like I felt the same way I would feel if a guy and a girl was kissing when I scrolled past that. It just it didn't. But that's the advance. You got to keep advancing your tolerance of things that society has conditioned you ain't right or ain't good or is problematic. In a Christian society, that also means atheism. In a capitalist society, that also means poverty. In a white society, that means brown. And in a straight society, that means homosexual.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all got to continue to advance. I mean, I made a little joke, but I hope that me saying that didn't impact how you feel about the situation.
No, I'm so proud of him and AC Blow. Because I've had these conversations with AC. AC also used to have this hyper, like, masculine viewpoint of shit. And, of course, I'm going to debate with you all day. And so, through me verbally beating him down, eventually, he just became a lot more open-minded when it came to stuff. And, I mean, again, I told him when we were having conversations, open-minded don't mean that you agree with the shit. You know what I'm saying? You just accept that this is how this person is choosing to live their life and you move the fuck on. You don't have to agree with it, but you also don't have to have this stigma attached to it, or you don't have to have this bias towards that person because of that shit. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. What he doing in his bedroom ain't got shit to do with you. Unless he ain't trying to fuck you, so what do you care? It don't matter. So I'm proud of both of them. They have come so far as, like I said, AC still feel how he feel about homosexuality, being how he was raised, what his religious viewpoint is. He's just a lot more accepting of people making their decisions. And he still feel how he feel. And I was like, these two things don't have to be separate. You can feel how you feel, but also remain accepting and respectful of how that other person feels about this thing too. So,
well, one thing that Herman Cain got for the campaign when he was campaigning, no, was it Herman Cain or Ben Carson? One of the Republican blackies. One thing that he said was, I don't believe in homosexuality, but I believe in the individual choice. I believe that the individual can make the choice that they want about their sexuality.
That don't sound like something Ben Carson would have said.
I think it was Herman Cain.
I'm
pretty sure it was Herman Cain. And so from that, like, and I don't know if he can really do this, you know, as Herman Cain, as a Republican, as a Christian. But I think it's possible to not like what a person does, because You got friends that cheat on their wife. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got friends that do all kinds of bullshit.
But all of those things are readily acceptable.
Yeah.
I feel like
you got friends that sell drugs to kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we choose what we want to accept.
Yeah.
I just think that other stuff is not as deeply ingrained for us to be against as homosexuality.
Yeah.
Because not only is there a system that says it's wrong, but it also challenges whether a man is strong or weak.
Yep.
You know, so it challenges that. It also challenges faith.
Yep.
You know, it also challenges I can't conceptualize being attracted to a man.
And I
can't.
No. And not a woman. Like I find women attractive. I could find beauty in a woman, but like as far as like come on home with me type shit,
I would never be able to ever lay next to somebody naked and hairy as I am. Ever. I would never be able to rub up on a face that has a beard.
Oh,
it's not. I would never be able to wake up to somebody and be like, "Good morning, baby." Ever. Like, I can't conceptualize it. But that's because my natural predisposition is toward women.
Yep.
And so it's accepting that is breaking into a lot of things that we were conditioned to accept.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time to come to fight against what society told me I need to think. And that's why I'm fighting. If y'all don't notice, my dialogue in all of these conversations is everything society told me to think. I'm fighting that shit.
Yeah.
I'm fighting what they told me to think about women. I'm fighting what they told me to think about LGBT. I'm fighting what they told me to think about Latino. Any brown person, black, whatever they've told me to think, I'm like, fuck no. You're not going to tell me how to think. And furthermore, the shit you telling me is harmful. And you telling other people shit about me.
Yep.
And I don't like it. So I can't trust anything you say about anybody. So I come up with, I've been trying to come up with my own ways of looking at shit, which is, the conversation we had, this conversation, this has been an act of me processing this shit while we having a conversation. And me challenging you is to really kind of like go through all the little sections of the maze to figure out where I'm going to come out at. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do with dialogues. If I don't know if it look like I believe one way or the other, for a lot of these dialogues, I be trying to see where I am with it.
Yeah.
You'll know when I believe what I believe. Trust me.
Okay, so we talked about that for so long.
We an hour in.
Oh shit.
We only answered 2 questions.
If you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it that way. Are you gonna talk about the Trump shit first?
What Trump shit?
The video.
No, I'm not gonna talk about it.
You're not gonna talk about it at all? Mm-mm. Okay, well, the only Trump related thing that I have is apparently at one of these little punk ass rallies he decided, which here's why. Okay, so for a couple of reasons this is fucked up, but one of the main reasons that it was fucked up that he decided to play Pharrell's song Happy at his rally was because this was following all of these people getting murdered in the synagogue. And so, just so disrespectful of him. So what happened is, Pharrell wasn't with the shits and had his lawyer send a cease and desist letter. Dear Mr. Trump, we write you on behalf of our client, Pharrell Williams, composer and performer of the hit song Happy. On the day of the mass murder of 11 humans, it was on the same day, of the mass murder of 11 human beings at the hands of a deranged nationalist, you played his song Happy to a crowd at a political event in Indiana. There was nothing happy about the tragedy inflicted upon our country on Saturday, and no permission was granted for your use of this song for this purpose. Pharrell Williams is the owner of the copyright in Happy with exclusive right to exploit same. Pharrell has not and will not grant you permission to publicly perform or otherwise broadcast or disseminate any of his music. The use of Happy without permission constitute copyright infringement in violation of 17 U.S.C. 501. This also violates Pharrell's trademark rights under the Landheim Act.
Okay.
So Pharrell was like, "Don't play my shit, nigga," basically. And that just wasn't, the country was really hurt. That was really sad about these people getting killed, and you come out to a rally to happy because you a bitch. Get on my fucking nerves. But I was just like, look at Pharrell. Don't come out to any music.
Yeah. Just don't come out to music. Like, there's no song choice you could choose.
No.
That will help anything. Nothing. Just come out silent and say some respectful shit and that's it. But, I've resigned to the idea that Trump is going to Trump.
Yep.
That's just what it's going to be. Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump is a sociopath, a psychopath, without the charisma of Ted Bundy. He just don't have it. He has tactics. And tactics work with a small group of people. I mean, in the context of America, it's a large group of people. But he has tactics. He doesn't, like, I feel like he's a psychopath with autism. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sorry, nothing against
No, I know
autism.
You mean the social aspect.
Yeah,
the social awkwardness.
I don't think he knows what really makes people happy. I don't think he really knows how to engage with people on an emotional level. I don't really think he knows empathy. I don't think he knows sympathy. And that's the antisocial personality side, the psychopath side. But he also don't know how to detect people's smiling mood, and that's the narcissism. Mm-hmm. And I think that the problem that comes along with all of that is the narcissism says, I don't care what people are feeling or emoting or how to even address those things that they're emoting. Mm-hmm. The antisocial personality side says, I don't really empathize or sympathize. I really don't care what people are going through that might put them in this emotional state. And the inability to like tell how people are feeling in things is what impacts all of his close relationships, where everybody around him, they ain't really relationships.
Yeah.
They like contractual obligations. Like, I feel like everybody around him is contractual obligations. And you know what? It's really crazy because the way it's crazy, because I don't expect any better for Trump about me, because the way that he treats America is how he treats his kids.
Yeah.
Ivanka is his base.
Yep.
Eric and Don Jr., those are independence people he trying to get, but he don't give a fuck about them because he don't talk shit about them. And the other Ashley, the other daughter, and then the youngest boy with autism, Melania's kid.
Yeah.
They the niggas of the group. He don't care about them one bit. Like, I don't even recall seeing a picture with his. You gotta go find the other daughter picture somewhere.
I can't even remember her damn name because he don't.
It might be Ashley. I can't remember.
I think it's Ashley.
I can't remember.
I don't know. It's
another daughter
white
Trump
name.
So
he has another.
If that is the dynamic he would have with his family, to where he has some outcasts in his family that he don't acknowledge. He have some in his family who he acknowledge, but he is overly and deeply critical about. And don't give a fuck at the end, but for one of them, he'll do whatever it takes. That's like that. What can I expect better from him then?
Exactly.
If his kids don't, like, if there is a subgroup of his kids that don't get shit, I ain't got no hope. And I don't give a fuck. So Trump, I don't really give a fuck about.
The insecurity that goes into narcissism, because it seems like that would be an oxymoron but they're not confident. The way that they make themselves confident is about being boastful and bragging. That is not any more clear than in the fact that the kids that he don't fuck with are the kids that look the most like him. Ivanka look like her mama. She's pretty. That's why he likes her so much. Don Jr. is a nice man. He don't look as much like him, but Eric looked like Trump. He's like the hunchback of the family. And his daughter also looks more like him. And the ones that remind him of himself because they look like him, those are the ones he don't fuck with. Those are the ones that he won't have anything to do with because they remind him of himself. They look just like him. Ivanka don't look shit like him. She don't even look like she's his child because she look like her mama. Even Barron, which is Melania's son, you can see some of Trump's features in his face. It's a lot more pleasing to the eye because of Melania, but like he does look like there are features of him that you can see.
And this is the thing too. I think that I think if Donald Trump was a woman, he would be diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Yes.
You know, and I don't know if you know, not you, but the people listening know much about borderline personality disorder, but it is almost exclusively diagnosed to women. Mm-hmm. Like women can't have a level of narcissism. It's just borderline personality disorder. Because he a man, it's expected that a little narcissism and testosterone and all that stuff is going to be there. But I think when you know what his upbringing was and how harsh the relationship his daddy had with him was, then that's where I think the borderline personality, those traits would come from. That's where that insecurity thrives from the interaction that he had with his dad. Because the way that borderline personality really comes about is a person that's own way of thinking and own way of looking at the world has been invalidated so deeply that they don't really know how to make their own decisions, and so they create this world where everything works out for them. And Donald Trump has created a world where everything works out for him.
And they're extraordinarily sensitive to criticism, which is why other stuff that past presidents would have just, you know how much bullshit they said about Bush at the end after he fucked up, Obama during his whole damn president, like they ignored a lot of shit. Trump gonna come back and say something about anything that's said about him because he is so sensitive to criticism.
So the first client that I ever had that was she was already diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. It's not like I diagnosed her, but I was in the clinic and my professor watched my tape and he said, "You dealt with that client perfectly." Because I'm not really a big acknowledger of I just don't really acknowledge the positive things immediately. You know, he said a person with borderline personality disorder is coming in there and they're creating a reality that they want you to either feel sorry for or give them credit for.
And if you do that,
you making it worse.
You making it way worse.
If you don't acknowledge those things, if you don't give them that acknowledgement that they're looking for through whether it's good or bad or whatever kind of story they create, whether they're trying to get pity or guilt, if you don't give them that, then that's when you can start doing some work. That's when you can start getting to the real person. Because as long as you validate they bullshit, they're going to keep giving you bullshit. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to be validated. And when you look at Trump, he is on a fucking full speed monorail path train of validation.
This nigga, shortly after becoming president, already started holding rallies and shit for to feed his ego. Those rallies are solely for his benefit.
Look, we didn't even get that far. During his fucking inauguration, he was talking about how big the crowd size was. Because the crowd size being the biggest crowd of any inauguration
was not true.
The biggest validation that he can have for himself. That's how deeply he needs to be validated. All of his decisions need to be validated. And unfortunately, he's in a position where it's people who brown nosing and it's going to validate his shit. And it's people who are not smart enough to recognize
also known as stupid.
Trump. I won't say all of them are stupid. Some of them are smart. They just smart at what they smart at. And politics ain't it. But that comes along all of those things together are validating them. But that's also why the people who ain't validating them get such a hard fucking time.
God.
If you're in his staff and you don't validate them, you're gone. If you're another community that don't validate them, we building a fucking wall. A Middle Eastern can't come in here, and if you're black, we gonna stop and frisk everybody everywhere. If you ain't validate him, he don't give a shit about you. And so it's not surprising to me.
I just appreciated his level, Pharrell's level of petty for sending a season because Pharrell, that song is used all the fucking time without permission. That song is a very popular song, and so people use it all the time. But for him to have his lawyers draft up a cease to desist letter was just real petty and hilarious to me. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, let me talk about from that. Let me talk about the synagogue shooting. Now, it's clear, I ain't even plan on talking about this. You just brought it up, so it kind of reminded me. But it it's clear that in our society now, the rhetoric that has been brought up amongst all kind of other people is problematic, and it's created an environment where people will be violent towards those people. Yeah. Okay, right? Mm-hmm. Right. But I don't even want to focus on that. I want to focus on this is going to be out of left field, but I really did not know Farrakhan had such derogatory and flagrant views about the Jewish community.
I didn't know that either.
It's ridiculous. He has a tweet that links to his YouTube video, which I didn't go look at, that says thoroughly and completely unmasking the satanic Jew and the synagogue of Satan.
What?
Yeah, it is. I haven't watched the video. I'm not interested in watching the video, but most of what I've known of Farrakhan has been in support of the black community, I guess through the lens of his faith. And so while he sometimes has some extreme rhetoric when it comes to that, I just don't understand I don't know if this is a Muslim Islam thing, or if that has anything to do with it, or if this is exclusively a Farrakhan thing.
Well, so after this happened, an organization, let me see, they raised more than $150,000 for the victims of that shooting to go toward the funeral expenses. And they're working with the Islamic Center of Pittsburgh to disperse the money to those families. So obviously it ain't everybody in Islam that feel that way about Jewish folks. So it might be a Farrakhan thing, or it might be a Muslim extremist. I don't know. But the Islamic community there in Pittsburgh raised money to help the synagogue after the shooting. So,
well, and I'm saying that to say there's a Union Temple of Brooklyn was vandalized with anti-Semitic messages. Mm-hmm. And on they have a picture of a black man on surveillance camera. And at first I was like, why would a black person be doing this? But then when I realized that Farrakhan had such a harsh message about the Jewish community, I was like, I guess it ain't surprising. Because that same rhetoric, any of these rhetorics are going to amp up the extreme people in these groups.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's going to lead me to talk about, to find out more about his issue with the Jewish community.
Yeah. And if it's a widespread Islamic viewpoint, but like I said, what I can say about the people there in Pittsburgh that are of that faith, they raise money to help out the synagogue. So obviously that group of folks anyway don't feel the way that Farrakhan feels. So I don't know if that's widespread. I don't know if it's just a Farrakhan thing, but it ain't all of them regardless, because they raise money for them to help with, like, I don't know if you remember, because you did psychology at AUM. Did you ever have, what was his name?
What did he teach?
He was psych. They have a bunch of psych professors.
Abnormal.
I can't remember.
Okay, Trace DeFuric, Dr. Labello.
It wasn't Labello.
Dr. Woodle.
No.
The dude that Doctor. He came to be the head of the program. The one that taught real nerdy. You talking about the abnormal psych dude? Cause
he died on campus. Him.
Yeah.
So
he had mustard on his shirt one day. That was irritating.
Yeah, he was a little messy.
I think I told you about that story where he asked if anybody was from Chambers County.
Yeah, before he when he died, he's like Orthodox. I think he was Orthodox Jewish. They had to bury, like, his children didn't even get to come to his funeral because it had to happen so fast because of their beliefs. So I just was wondering how many or what I don't know what I don't know if it was Orthodox Jew, the synagogue that got the shooting, but his funeral was like they have like 48 hours where they have to be in the ground, or it's something crazy. So his funeral happened before his kid, because they live out of state, before they could even get down here.
Well,
so they missed his funeral.
I imagine it was expected.
Yeah, I mean, they are
accepted by his kids.
It was accepted, wasn't expected. He just had an aneurysm in the
Well,
damn.
I know his death wasn't expected, but to not see him if something happened before he in the ground,
yeah,
was probably,
because
it's probably expected amongst the faith.
Yeah, it is. But like for us, it was just like because you know, if you Baptist, Methodist, any kind of Southern Christian, they gonna hold about it so everybody can get here. They'll do that. This was like 48 hours. They had his funeral, so. I just thought that was very interesting, because I didn't know that was something that they did. But yeah, they have a certain amount of time where they have to be put in the ground, and they be damned anything else. So yeah. So
I'm gonna talk about more so some concepts than a story.
Okay.
For a couple of these. I mean, I guess it's kind of let me wrap it into the Kanye West thing. Clearly, we know that Kanye West done came out and said that he's been blinded, and there's people that's been, taking advantage of him, and for messages that he don't agree with. What he was exclusively talking about was Candace Owens, because she had a movement that she was trying to get off the ground called Blexit, so about the black exit from the Democratic plantation. Kind of using his verbiage and his lingo, and she tried to make it seem like he co-opted that, and that he was going to have a hand in designing those clothes. And it's fucked up to me that her trying to get him into fashion is what really made him see that people was taking advantage of him.
Like that, all this other shit. Niggas been trying to talk to you and tell you how harmful this shit is, and her fucking up your fashion shit is what was the thing that got to you.
But that brings up the dialogue of the Democratic plantation, because it's not like those thoughts and those ideas have come from nowhere. It's not like the argument that they making don't resonate with some people, because the question is being, what has the Democratic Party done for black people? And what is the Democratic Party doing for black people now? Because right now, what it feels like is that for the Democratic Party, black people, let me not say for the whole Democratic Party, let me say for the Hillary Clintons, the moderates, the ones that are center left, the ones that are not far left, but the ones who, there's a large group of the Democratic Party that use black people as a platform for their message, without any real semblance of anything that they're going to do to help the black community. But from my perspective, that can't be a reason that we allow a party that has not even a verbiage or a bit of a dialogue about what can be done to help the black community. None. Like, the Republican Party has nothing for black people. It has something for people who have never grown up in poverty, that are extreme Christians, that believe in extreme versions of capitalism, where we don't have capitalism now, we have corporatism. Capitalism is what they say we got, but our corporations are fucked up. If me and you start Mr. On Point and Red's grocery store, where we will never be able to do that, where there's not a Walmart around. Walmart is going to go look to see what the fuck we got in our store, lower their prices down lower than ours,
or price match. You just bring it in.
Match, put our ass out of business, and have any legal ramification we try to take. Walmart will just lobby in that community for them to be able to have done what they did. That's not capitalism. Capitalism, me and us and them got the same opportunity to succeed as another one. We just got to have a better product. What Walmart have is money, clout, and legal representation that will keep us from doing that. And it's not just in that field. It's in grocery stores. It's in restaurants. The food trucks around here in Birmingham, they were downtown doing their food trucks, a building away from like Arby's and play. All these restaurants got together and lobbied for legislation that the food trucks could only open between 11 and 2 and 5 and 8, and it had to be outside of a certain radius of where those restaurants are. That's not fucking capitalism. That is corporatism, and this shit is happening everywhere. So this kind of shit is what the Republican Party stand for. You can look at the donations that Paul Ryan are getting from these anti-abortion groups. You can look at how much money that Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell are getting from these NRA. They are being paid to believe what they believe. And maybe they believe a level of what it is, but they don't believe it to the level of the extremists that's paying them. But they doing the bidding of the extremists.
Yep.
And the Democratic Party, they are being more, they have a message more towards brown people. They have a message more towards poverty. They have a message towards choice for women. And the reality is, I don't know what the answers are to that shit. I don't know how to tell a Democratic leader to fix poverty. I don't know how to tell a Democratic leader how to fix, how many abortions. I don't know how to tell them how to fix the plights of brown people. But they say things that we can hold them accountable for. They have a dialogue that we can say, this is the shit you said. This is why Hillary didn't win. But I believe this is why Stacey Abrams will win. This is why I believe Andrew Gillum will win. At least I hope they win. They in deeply red states, so even if they saying all the best shit, winning is going to be hard. But those are the Democrat leaders that we can hold them accountable for when they talk about crime. We can hold them accountable for when they are critical of shit Trump do. We can hold them accountable. And that's what it's about. It's not about what have you done for me lately. It's about trying to help the right people in there find out what to do. And we got to get the right people in for that. We can't do that shit with the wrong people. So this Democratic plantation shit, and not mention this dialogue about the Democratic plantation, for them hinges upon the history where the Democratic Party was the racist party. But those roles switched. You're not talking about the traditional Democrats. You're talking about Dixiecrats, which was a subset of the Democrats that became the modern day Republicans. When the Democrats switched over from FDR's, like you really gotta, if you go back to the history, you'll see how this shit switched over. And if you want to know how to do that, go look up FDR and the Democratic Party that he was a part of. Go look up the changes that he made that supported a lot of the communities that the Republican Party didn't support, and then go from there. And you'll see how it got up to Reagan and how the black community hasn't voted more than 15% for the right since then, for Republicans since then, just because they don't have a message for black people. So I'm just really, that Democratic plantation shit is just marketing ploy, and it's just people that's saying it, or people that's real catchy and are charismatic and are on the forefront right now. But the reality is, you need to vote for and believe in what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't vote for a party. I don't consider myself a Democrat. A lot of my shit line up with Democrats, but not all of my shit line up with Democrats. Yeah. Some of my shit would be more so lining up with an independent view of some shit. I don't agree with everything anybody says. I have to come up with my own way of looking at this shit. And when you just take this one size fits all Democratic plantation shit from Kanye, you already losing. But that's one of my things. You can go ahead.
So in why I don't fuck with people news, 21-year-old Navy sailor fatally shot after pulling over to help a man he thought was a stranded motorist, but the guy was actually stealing the car. And this is, I know, random acts of kindness, you should be able to do that, but I just feel like where we are in the state of this country currently, you just have to be real careful and very cognizant of what you're doing and where and around who. Like, you just can't. So anyhow, Curtis Adams was shot on the side of the highway in San Diego around 2:20 a.m. I ain't stopping for nobody at 2:20 a.m. God gonna have to stop my car if it's him. Like, I ain't stopping for nobody for nothing. I'm sorry. Unless I know you and you called me specifically to say, hey, I'm stranded on the side of the road and I'm coming there to help you because I know you. Somebody on the side of the road at 220, I'm not going to expect nobody, because let me tell you something. If my car break down at 2:20 in the morning and I'm sitting on the side of the road and somebody stop by to help me, I'm going to be worried of them motherfuckers. I'm going to be like, I already called my insurance. They sending somebody, but I ain't even getting out the fucking car because you just can't trust people now. Especially not no 2:20 in the morning. That's just bad. 2:20 on a Saturday when he approached the motorist to offer assistance. What Curtis didn't know, police say, is that the stranded motorist was actually attempting to steal the car. Curtis's girlfriend, who was in the car with him at the time, quickly called 911. Curtis was taken to UC San Diego Medical Center where he was pronounced deceased. The accused shooter has been identified as 21-year-old Brandon Acuna, who police says was also involved in a car burglary that led to a shooting about 10 minutes before the same day. Acuna sped down Interstate 15 before police caught and arrested him. He was booked in jail on charges of first-degree murder and second-degree burglary and held without bail.
Was he black?
Acuna?
Mm-hmm.
Acuna don't sound black.
Acuna
the guy
sound black as hell to me.
Last name is Acuna.
Acuna, shit sound African.
I guess. I don't know. Let me look him up. The guy he shot was black.
What's his name? Brandon Acuna?
Uh-huh. Did I say Brandon?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did. Brandon Acuna. This sounds Hispanic to me.
No, the dude, the Navy guy was black.
I said that. He was black. The guy who shot him, though, I don't know.
Yep, he looked white.
That sounds Hispanic to me. That don't sound black. But anyway, so the guy that got killed that was trying to help out, though, was black. listen. And then being black, okay, so California is a lot more of a liberal state. Here in the South, I'm not stopping to help nobody white at 2:20 in the morning because my black ass attempting to help them is going to be taken as my black ass attempting to rob them, and it's going to get ugly real quick. Like the mentality of living down here and probably the mentality of living in California would be a bit different because there ain't no way in fuck hell no. Mm-mm.
You know what? I drove past a dude that was like trying to hitchhike the other day. And I made a capital mistake. Looked him in the eyes. I ain't stopped, but I looked him in the eyes. And you know, the disappointment that I saw. I was like, damn. Like he really, really wanna like this dude is not having a good day. And I just looked him in the eyes, like gave him some hope. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir.
I hate it's come to that, but it's like for your own self-preservation, doing acts of kindness where it involves you being in close contact with somebody you don't fucking know, like letting them in your car to get them a ride type shit.
I'm driving like I can get poked in the side 12 times before I realize this was a bad idea.
Like you just can't, and I hate it. I do, but like there's just one, because I'm a woman, this whole thing just sounded crazy. But my supervisor, let me tell you about my supervisor does shit like this, but she's a white woman, so I take that as for what you will. She picks up hitchhikers. She stops and like helps people. And listen, that sounds like she's a nice person, but she just histrionic as fucking dramatic, and she just likes the attention that she gets and the feeling that she gets from helping somebody.
I ain't against helping people. I'm against helping people at the cost of what looks like safety. So like
and
putting somebody,
I'd have cussed his that nigga. You don't keep going. You ain't finna stop with me in the car and help nobody.
She might have been the one that got him to do it.
She's stupid too. Then
he needs help, honey. No, listen, it's late. You help that man. And now she got to live with that shit
because he dead now. Listen,
I mean, you know,
I wish a nigga. Listen, look, I appreciate you trying to be a good guy. Be a good guy when I'm not in the car with you. We're not stopping to help him. He better call AAA. Call in. This is why I pay for roadside assistance on my car insurance, because I don't want no stranger coming in. I'm telling you, if I was broke down on the side of the road, I don't give a fuck how many people drove up to help me. I'm not getting out of the car because I can't trust that you're not gonna fucking rob me and take advantage of this situation that I'm in. So what I'm gonna do is sit here and wait on my roadside assistance. But I appreciate the effort because you just don't know, and especially at an hour like 2 in the morning. No. I would never have stopped. And I mean, you can take that for what it is, but I would never have stopped to help. No, I pass by folks all the fucking time, and you better call somebody you know.
I actually helped somebody recently.
That you didn't know?
Yep. It was a dude. I was coming back from home, which is a couple of hours away. Mm-hmm. And when I got to Shorter,
oh, you told me about this.
I had to stop and get gas. Mm-hmm. And it was a dude out there standing in a weird spot. He was like by some big diesel trucks over there. He was standing between them, and he just kept throwing his hand up at me. And I'm like looking around like, are you talking to me? And then he tried to yell something at me across, and then I ran over to him, and he was like, hey, can you give me a ride? I was like, to where? And he was just like, to the next exit. And I was like, okay, I give you a ride to the next exit. I don't know why, but I gave him a ride, and he just was going through some shit. He was talking about how his life was good, and everything was okay until he was in a car wreck with somebody else. He wasn't driving, but he was in a car wreck, and he had one leg where he was dragging, and one of his arms was messed up. And he said, I was supporting my family, like my mama and my uncle and them. I was supporting them because I had a good job, and I was doing everything for them, and now I can't even get a ride to the next exit, from none of my family.
That's fucked up.
And it's like, I just never realized how much what I was doing for them was being taken for granted, and it was just really, it's really eye-opening to, life, and he knows a counselor, but I work with a lot of people, and I feel like at the times when this stuff happened, it's supposed to happen, I feel like all the shit came together for me to take him where I took him. Mm-hmm. I don't just pick everybody up, but like the fact that I pulled up to that place, and out of the 6 or 7 people that was around there, I don't know if he reached out to all of them or if he just felt comfortable reaching out to me because I was black. There was a lot of Latino and white people around. And the fact that the way that he spoke didn't seem threatening, and the way that he looked wasn't threatening at all. Everything came together for me to feel comfortable enough with, taking him to where I took him. And it just made me think about some stuff at that time.
Well, what sucks is that there are a lot of people like him who truly do need it, but it's like you can't differentiate between him and this dude that stabbed this guy.
And something he told me that was crazy. He said that people always give him rides, but white people, once they give him a ride, they'll say something like, get the fuck out of my car, nigga. Some shit like that.
The fuck you picked me up for then?
He said he don't know what that is. He said he said it happens a lot. It happens a lot. And it's made him uncomfortable with asking white people for help.
I wouldn't.
And I'm like, I just don't understand it. Like, why would you even be willing to help if this is how you gonna treat somebody? It's like, I guess God see you helping, but he saw that shit too, dummy.
I guess that's where your morals and your bigotry clash. So it's like, I'm gonna do this shit because it's the right thing to do, but fuck you, nigga. Like, I feel like, those are some conflicted people. I just
don't get it, but whatever.
You just never know when you help folks. You just don't know. But at 2:00 in the morning, fuck that. I ain't helping nobody. Like, definitely ain't gonna happen. And then again, with me being a woman, it's like I have to be even more careful. Because the thing about it is everybody is looking at him like he's this really great person. He is the guy that got killed, absolutely 100%. But I feel like if a woman had stopped and helped him and got stabbed, it's like they get victim blame. It'll be like, why she was stopping and helping some man at 2:00 in the morning anyway? Like, instead of seeing her as like this, great person that was trying to be helpful, she just be the stupid girl that got herself shot doing stupid shit. She knew better than to stop on the side of the road at 2 in the morning. But yeah, it was unfortunate. Prayers to his family, because that, 21. Both of them was 21. They both then lost their lives. Kuna going to prison and Curtis is dead.
Birthright citizenship as a concept. Donald Trump said that he was going to end birthright citizenship through an executive order. Now, this is the idea that if you are born on U.S. soil, that you are an American citizen.
Even if your parents are not.
Even if your parents are not. Now, the reason that this was added to the amendment, do you know why it was added to the amendment?
To what amendment?
I mean, why this is in the Constitution.
Mm-mm.
This was for slavery. Originally, they were trying to consider slaves non-citizens because their parents weren't from here. But at that point in time, a lot of children had been born through slavery.
Yeah.
So this was to make sure that politics and America couldn't say that because your parents aren't citizens, you're not a citizen here. And that's crazy because that's what they try. It's crazy that an amendment was an amendment or it's just the 14th Amendment. It's crazy that this was used to keep people from being able to use race against a group in society, but it's now being used to do the same thing, like to do the opposite, to exclude a group of people from being. And it's crazy how people can see and misinterpret something to their benefit.
Of course.
But Trump knew that, well, he can't change birthright because it's in the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
The president can't change the Constitution with an executive order. I'm pretty sure he knew that. He can't change birthright citizenship with an executive order.
It's for his base that don't know that.
Yeah,
though.
Furthermore, Congress can't change it because it takes a long time to get an amendment added to a Constitution. And he's just been doing this to amp up his base to make them think that he can do all this shit. He also said that he was going to give a tax break to the middle class. Even though they called the fucking first tax break a tax break for the middle class, and Congress is not in session, so it's not possible for him to do that before the midterm election. But do you think that if you're born in America, you should be a citizen? Because this is a dialogue to have. Because the idea is that some people come over here to have babies so that they can have a stake in America. That's like a Republican dialogue. That's what Donald Trump was calling anchor babies and shit with his bitch ass. But what do you think? Do you think that's something we need to look at, or do you think that everybody born here is a U.S. citizen? It should be.
I mean, I don't know. The thing about it is what that makes me think of is the fact that these kids, because they were born here, don't know shit about the place you're trying to send them back to. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're born here. If they get enrolled in school and start school, they're going to probably be much better at English than their parents. Like, and so having them all go back, or having the parents go back and the children go for the first time to somewhere that they're not from, I don't know how I feel about that. Because those kids have never set foot on Mexican soil, wherever the fuck Honduras, wherever the parents are from. And that's a very different life that those kids would be living. This is why the parents escaped where they was at. So, I mean, I don't know. This isn't one of those things that I get on my soapbox about. Like, this isn't a issue that gets me, like, hype, I guess. So I don't really know. I haven't really put a lot into it.
I mean, the reality is immigration is an issue. Immigration is an issue. But where my problem is that we not finna sit here and act like Donald Trump hadn't alluded to white immigrants being okay and brown immigrants being a problem.
Yep.
If we're going to attack immigration as a country, Donald Trump is not the president to do it under. I don't care what other Republican president or what other Democratic president try to figure out something about immigration. The problem I have with the Republican Party is that they put forth no solutions. I think they're mostly interested in a mass exodus of people that are brown.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they really wanted to figure out, if their belief is that they come over here to take our jobs, if they're legal citizens, how the fuck are they getting these jobs? The corporations and employers are allowing them to work. So where's the penalties for the employers? Like, why don't you put some regulations on them? Oh, well, we don't like regulations. So we going to target the people at the bottom. We're not going to target the people that offer jobs, because if the immigrant population that illegally came over here didn't think that they can come over here and get work, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't come over.
But they come over here because they're going to get work.
Yep.
Because the corporations and employers are going to have them doing work under the table. But if Republicans really wanted a solution, that's what they target. What they really want is a mass exodus of people that they don't like and people that they don't think deserve to be here. And that's what my problem with America is now, is that we have shown ourselves to the world as the world police, as the world humanitarians, as the people that you come to for help, as the people that's going to help you when you're struggling. That's what we painted ourselves as.
That ain't
and Donald Trump get up in here and make it seem like, call himself a nationalist. That is a fucking dog whistle if I ain't ever heard one. Why would he use the word nationalist? Why would he say I'm a patriot? He used the word nationalist because people who are white nationalists would feel a lot more closer to that rhetoric by him using that word than using any other dialogue. There's words that already exist that means that you are extremely devout supporter of the country that you live in. He don't got to use ones that people don't use for a reason.
That's why David Duke is still the homie.
So Donald Trump is just not the president to start looking at this shit to try to figure it out in. He's not. He's just not, him or his entire cabinet or anybody that's around here. He's not the one. We need to attack this shit, but we got to do it at a different time.
So, 61-year-old man arrested after getting pulled over with 500 pounds of the ganja in his car. According to Missouri News, a man by the name of Ricky Martin, not making that up,
not living La Vida Loca.
He was, well, yeah, I guess you could say that. Was driving down the highway where he was pulled over by police and state trooper, then asked Ricky to search his car, to which he refused. That's when the state trooper called for backup in a canine unit to do a search, where the dog discovered approximately 514 pounds of marijuana. Needless to say, since his arrest, Ricky's been hit with 3 felony charges. I think, okay, so I get why this is done, but I think it's so fucked up if you say, no, you can't search my car, they can still get the dog and bring the dog, and then if the dog finds something, there's probable cause for them to search the damn car.
Yeah,
anyway.
They gotta have probable cause, and a dog smelling drugs is probable cause.
I think that's so messed up. That's just a way to circumvent.
Well, there's a lot of things that you can refuse that they can't do anything about. Like, they can't search your body if you refuse that, you know. And
even if the dog sniffs some stuff and get went crazy.
They were looking for a pistol or a weapon or something.
Something like, that's not sniffable.
Yeah, like it's times when you can refuse an officer doing something and there's no recourse. Substances is a recourse. They can go get a canine unit.
Yep, and them dogs are amazing at that. Dogs just have a really good sense of smell anyway, so I bet he was like, shit, when they was like, okay, well, we gonna get the dogs. And he had to know he fucked up at that point.
The way that I've seen a dog's sense of smell described is that if I make some beef stew, me and you just smell stew.
Yeah.
A dog smells the broth, the corn, the carrots, the celery, the meat. The dog smells every single note of whatever is in there. That's how strong their nose is. So if you in a car, a dog gonna smell your transmission fluid, your damn oil, your every fluid in your car, and then they gonna smell whatever substance you got. They gonna smell what cologne you got on. They can discern all of those things.
My dogs go to my car. They already know which car is, but like without fail, if we walk by my car, they gonna go over there. Like, they know which car is mine by smell, because my car smells like me. Well, and I smell like the car from being in the... And
dogs are colorblind, so if you lined up a whole bunch of cars that look like red car down the line of different hues, it'd be hard for them to tell visually what they are, but through their nose, they'll know which one to go to.
They go straight to that car every time. Like, it is so funny to me that they're able to sniff that out, the small hints of me that are on a closed car. Like, it's just amazing. So yeah, the dog, I bet he was like, damn, they calling the damn dog. Like, you ain't gonna get by on that. Like, if they call the dogs and there's some shit in your car, the dog gonna smell it. That's just, they're really, really good at that.
And there's probably ways to do that.
I mean, I guess if you got
I think you have to submerge your packs of weed in like coffee.
Oh yeah, because it has the neutralizing.
I think you have to submerge them in coffee beans. Probably not even coffee beans, probably ground coffee beans. Submerge them in ground coffee beans, seal that up somehow, and then put a top on that. That may be how you get out of it. It just depends on how strong that K9 nose is, man. You might still get fucked up in the game.
Where was this 61-year-old going with 514 pounds of marijuana?
This is what Clint Eastwood new movie is about.
What movie?
I don't remember the name of it.
It's about old people trafficking weed?
It was about Clint Eastwood running drugs.
He's old ass.
Yeah, he old as hell. That's why he only do movies where he be in the truck most of the time. It just showed him driving down the interstate the whole time and maybe getting out for police.
There's not much he could do at this point. He's old as shit.
That's Gran Torino was good. It was racist, but it was good.
It's just, when I hear 61, I don't expect like drug runner.
That's why 61-year-old would do it.
Well,
there's a lot of 61-year-olds around here getting away with selling drugs.
He got caught. 514 pounds of marijuana. And marijuana itself is so that like 500 pounds of that and 500 pounds like crack is gonna be like, marijuana is light. So 500 pounds, that's a lot of marijuana.
I don't know why you would try to carry that much marijuana at one time.
I don't know, but he ain't gonna see the light of day unless it's in the yard.
Well,
on the yard.
He did it to himself.
He did.
I wanted to follow up with blackface by talking about Al Roker. Al Roker dressed up as Doc from Back to the Future. He had on the lab coat, he had on the white hair, and people were saying that's reverse racism and not whiteface.
I was just finna say.
They were saying, well, is it a problem that he dressed up as a white character?
It ain't a problem.
Let me tell you the problem. I'm
doing that thing again.
You finna say what finna say what I'm finna say. The problem is you painting your fucking face black. That's the problem.
Yep.
The problem, when we talk about costumes, we talk about blackface. When it comes to being a black person, listen, I've seen a white woman dressed up as Medea. Mm-hmm. I've seen 3 white dudes dressed up as the Migos. I've seen it's 2 white people that do a video. It's I have to show it to you. But it's a video of, but it's basically a video of a black man who just be making weird facial expressions and dancing with this woman, and a white couple reenacted that video. None of them wore blackface. Nope. You can be black people.
Nobody cares about that.
You can even fucking get an afro wig. I mean, that's fine. But don't paint your face black. It's a history that's tied with that. Now, along with that dialogue, there's no such thing as whiteface. Whiteface don't exist. Somebody asked a question. On dead presidents, were they wearing whiteface?
Oh my God.
No, they just painted their face. And they used white paint to do it. And you know
what?
Like
mimes do.
Like mimes do. Mimes. Like Sting did. But you know what? The problem with blackface is that it is tied to the intentional degradation of a culture. It was tied to making black people look like shit. Mm-hmm. It was tied to over-exaggerating the bullshit that was believed about black people at the time to continue to perpetuate that. So There is no level of white that I can wear on my face, even if I paint myself to look like the whitest white man ever, that is tied to a history that tried to make white people feel less of shit. Because people keep bringing up this racial draft with Dave Chappelle. They keep bringing up the skit with Eddie Murphy where he dressed up like a white guy, Chris Rock. It's a lot of black people that have been make-upped up to look like white, but they keep bringing up the Wayans brothers and white chicks. There has never been a time in history where a black man put anything on whiteface that indicated anything negative.
Donald Glover and Teddy. What was it? Teddy? Not Teddy.
Teddy Perkins.
Teddy Perkins. Creepy ass.
But let me tell you something else about that shit. In white girls, they painted themselves white, but because they would be more credible as white girls than as black fucking police officers.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy specifically put that white on to indicate the advantages that you get for being white, which are acknowledged.
Yep.
Everybody who should
Dave
Chappelle, when he dressed up as a white person, it is to show the positive sides of what white gets versus what black get.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even when a black person dressed up as a white person, it ain't never, even today, in a negative context, for people to think that they can equivocate blackface and whiteface. Whiteface don't exist. So quit saying that shit. And quit saying reverse racism don't exist either. Don't say that shit.
Oh my God.
A lot of white people, alt-white people, they just get mad that black people are calling out some shit that is a representation of reality, and they just got to have something else to say too, instead of accepting that that's just the reality. But
last thing I have, and we'll go through this really quick because I'm sure
we got like 5 minutes left.
Well, this is just goes to us always talking about what do white allies look like, and what, like, it's like, so there is an image circulating of a white man holding this little black baby while his mom fills out an application. And she was filling out paperwork in a waiting room because they were in a doctor's office. And so she was trying to like hold the baby and fill out the paperwork. And so the white man was like, I hold him. And so he holds the baby. And, you know, very nice. He didn't have to do that. You know, I thought it was weird that she allowed a stranger to hold her baby just off of, I mean, I don't care if he was black, white, whatever. I don't want nobody holding my baby. But outside of that, it was just a nice gesture, especially with it being in Alabama. But it's, and there were people that are like, see, you know, good white people do exist. There's hope for humanity. But then other people was saying shit about, we just want to give white folks credit for every little thing they do, and why is this so great just because he white? And it's like, niggas, like, what do you want from these folks? If they do something nice and it's acknowledged, you mad. If they do fucked up shit, you mad. Like, what do you want from them? That was very nice. And this is an older white man hold this black baby, okay? This is a white man who, if you saw him, you would be like, do he still say nigga? Did his family have slaves? Like, he that kind of white guy. So the fact that he went out of his way, he asked to hold the baby. He was like, I'll hold him for you. That's nice. But people was all upset, talking about, y'all just want to give white people credit for everything. And it's like, my God. It was a nice gesture, especially with the way that the country is right now. It was nice to see. Damn. My God. Relax.
Some black folks are just too much right now. Like,
and he got the baby to go to sleep. He obviously still got, like, a parent took the baby, went right on to sleep while he was holding.
Well, you know, it's a campaign out where it's a group of black people that just don't want to acknowledge that something a white person do, they should get credit for. And I do understand that in some context. But I mean, damn, everything a white person do regarding black people ain't for attention. It ain't for no fucking cookie credit black people points.
He know nobody was gonna take that damn picture and put in the picture. He not even aware that the picture's being taken, because neither one of the people involved in this story took this picture. Somebody that was also in this waiting room who saw the shit took the picture and posted it. So they probably, until this shit went viral, he probably still don't know, because he old and he don't look like he keep up with that kind of shit. He ain't do this for no acknowledgement or anything. He just did it to be nice. Because if we didn't live in this world of social media, wouldn't nobody even fucking know he did this shit. He ain't do this for that. He did it to be nice.
Yeah.
But people, like, in the comments, you can see the picture on Shade Room if you want to go. But, like, the comments, and there is people who are like, oh, this is very sweet. But then you got people like, white people get so much praise for showing basic human decency to black people, the world we live in. I mean, it just, y'all love when white folks do something nice for black folks, huh?
In the climate of our society, where you got so many white people that on the complete opposite end of the spectrum is shitting on black people just because they can and they got a phone and they can call the police. I mean, sometimes it's still good to see some of that humility. Sometimes it's good to see somebody that's willing to not acknowledge that shit and to just be who they gonna be. It's a lot of white people that can avoid interaction with black people because that shit going on. Mm-hmm. Like, at a certain point, you have to encourage that behavior to white people so that they feel positive. If a motherfucker know they're gonna get roasted online by black people by doing something for or with black people, then that's gonna encourage them to not do shit with black people, not to do shit with black people. And I'm not saying that we need to be wanting white people to do shit with black people.
But just acknowledge it nice.
But I think what those people be talking about is when a white person do a cool dance because they got some dance move and they be like, she invited to the cookout or he invited to the cookout. Like, I understand it for that shit, like little mediocre shit that somebody just do that black people can somewhat identify with. No, they don't deserve opportunity to come to the cookout. But like, just to be critical of somebody who may just be doing a good deed for the fuck of it, to come out and make that shit seem crazy. Like, I had a friend one time after I posted a picture of my V8 juice, that I was drinking, attempting to drink something better than what I was drinking, said, all of that salt in that V8, that's not healthy. And I was like, you can't acknowledge that I would be drinking some sugared up ass Kool-Aid. Like, you can't show that why can't you give me credit for this, something better than what it would be? You know what I'm saying? Like, give a motherfucker credit for what it would be. That motherfucker could be calling the police on the motherfucker.
Or he could have been sitting in there with an attitude like, she need to shut that damn baby up because the baby was whining, because the baby was like, he could have had a very negative. And let me tell you something, because I have to go to a gynecologist, and it's a lot of pregnant women or women who got that already had kids and the little kids be, and I have an attitude. Okay, I'm never what he did, I would not do. I get annoyed. I'm like, the fuck is this baby crying for? Because I don't have any kids, so I'm sure I'm gonna get all that back in karma when I do have a kid. But the fact that instead of him looking at this situation and being annoyed, he saw it as a way for him to help. He saw this mom struggling to try to do two things at once, and he decided to hold his fucking baby to be nice. He could have had a whole nother, and if he had a whole nother response and had an attitude and went up to the counter and was like, y'all need to have her take that baby outside, or y'all been ready to talk about his ass. But he rocking the baby to sleep and calming the baby to give her time to do what she need to do. You don't want to give him credit for that. It was a nice deed. Fuck. Let him be nice. Jesus Christ.
It is what it is.
But it's like, how are we going to tell white people how to be allies when we don't even know what the fuck we want out of them?
Well, some black people just don't believe that a white ally exists. They don't believe it's possible for a white person to be an ally. I mean, but I do think it's important to discern the difference between an ally and not. We can't just say white people is white people. That's why I brought up the term alt-white people versus white people.
Yeah. Because
it is important to discern people who are adamant about not changing, who could change, who trying to change, who have changed but not enough, and who's on a journey to change, and people who done changed as much as they can. But I do believe that people that has changed as much as they can still have limitation and caps. The way that I look at my allyship, whether it's an ally for women or other brown communities or anything, I'm going to be a nameless, silent, voiceless, shadowed figure standing behind their progress.
Yeah.
I don't expect to have shit from it. I don't expect to be acknowledged. And I fully expect for some people in those groups to not trust my motives. I don't expect women to trust me because I tell them I'm an ally. I'm still a man. I still have limitations. And even in the most deep version of allyship that I can have for them, I have limitations and caps because I'm conditioned to look at women in a certain type of way, even though I'm trying to travel away from it. You know, and so it's still going to be limitations, but it's important to discern those differences. Bottom line. But, you know, it is what it is.
Well, that was all I had.
That's all I got.
All right.
Well, I always got more, but we don't got time for more. So, but if you don't have anything else on your mind, then I guess what do I be saying again?
Until we con the next conversation.
Until we con the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.